He's at the Stop Smoking Center in Wilmette, and he joins us this morning to help us with, among other things, getting better sleep, improving our memory, reducing stress, and, of course, if you're still smoking, you need to stop. Shawn, good morning. Do you have a message for people who are uptight in their car right now because traffic's not moving?
Well, good morning, Bob. Well, that's an easy one. Just breathe from your belly. Push that lower belly out, and you can feel the seatbelt against your lower belly. Hold it for a few seconds and exhale.
There you go.
Breathe, that lower abdomen breathing.
Lower abdomen, deep breathing, right?
Well, this is even a little bit better for people in their cars. Just the lower abdomen breathing will rewire that brain and produce chemicals that will calm them down. Mood elevating.
How long have you been doing this? And by the way, where's your stopwatch? We expect you to come in here and wave the stopwatch in front of us and put us in a trance.
Well, that's easy enough, too, but we don't really do it that way anymore.
You've been doing it for a long time,
well,
haven't you?
About 45 years I've studied this subject, mind, brain, subconscious, how to reprogram the subconscious mind.
And I know you're very big on certain thoughts, especially, and tell us why it's so important, what you're thinking about before you go to sleep and also when you first wake up in the morning.
Well, for rewiring your brain, I work with a lot of smokers, and they want to change habits and add habits, and thoughts and feelings is what programs that part of the brain that controls habits in the brain. And the last 5 minutes before you fall asleep, what you think about, what you feel, marinates all night long in your subconscious mind.
Your subconscious is very powerful, isn't it?
It's equivalent to a 60-story high-rise. 98% of your life is a subconscious blueprint. And you can change that as you're falling asleep, you're automatically going through the meditative prayer programmable state. Hypnosis is nothing more than bypassing of the critical thinking to reprogram the subconscious mind. And you're using that last 5 minutes absolutely magnificently brilliant, but the majority of us don't realize we're doing it consciously, on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Accidentally, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
But the last 5 minutes before you fall asleep, I recommend you just really keep your thoughts on what you're appreciative of. Because if you have fear, worry, anxieties, if you're thinking about lack or what you're angered about, that what you think, what you feel the last 5 minutes will ferment. It will marinate all night long. And without your blessing or you knowing it, it's an automatic working subconscious habit within a few weeks. And if it's a subconscious habit, you're living it. You're tasting it. You're spending it. You are that.
Is the default position of all of our brains worry and negativity?
Well, that part of the brain, there is no there's either a success or failure. You cannot have a thought that doesn't create a current, and each current creates a physiological response. So are you keeping your thoughts on what you're appreciative, on what you're grateful for? Appreciation, I like that word better. Or are you keeping your thought on what's wrong? And you have to be kind of a thought warrior in the sense that you've got to guard what you're putting into your mind, into your thoughts, into your belly, the feeling, as you're falling asleep, because it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. It's either a success or a failure mechanism.
Monday morning, you get up and nobody's happy about it. Everybody sort of is tired from the weekend. Is there a trick for Monday morning that you have?
Oh, man, there's a great trick. The part of your brain that controls how you feel, not only physically, but more importantly, mentally, emotionally, is the part of your brain that is programmed by words. And because of that deep meditative state, nobody ever meditates deeper than all of us, the first 17 seconds upon awakening, eyes still closed. Maybe you hit your phone and turn off the alarm, but that first 17 seconds, because of that deep meditative state, and it's the part of the brain that controls your body, both nervous systems, by how you feel, what you say. And what I'm trying to say here is your first 17 seconds of what you think, what you say, what you feel is equivalent to 60,000 thoughts. Wow. Yeah.
So if you get up and the first thing you're dreading is the traffic and what the boss is going to say to you at work, then you're going to have a bad day, aren't you?
Correct. I recommend what I am well. I am every day in every way a tiny little bit better and better and better. I am well. I am better and better and better every day in every way.
Make a note, Vivian and Joe in the control room. Start the show tomorrow morning saying that just after 5 a.m. We'll see if it works.
I'll tell you, your first 17 seconds dictates your mental, emotional mood for 24 hours. And you're using that time period magnificently brilliant.
That's fascinating. Shawn Mossell, hypnotist. After a quick break, we'll talk a little bit more about all of this, including reducing stress, improving your memory, and, of course, if you need to stop smoking, Shawn's got some tips. And we all need better sleep, too. And we'll get into some meditation after a meditative weather update from Steve. It's going to be cooler near the lake, but a really nice day today.
Yeah, generally calm, so perfect for meditation with a high near 49 today. Not as warm as yesterday, but still pretty mild. And then tonight, partly cloudy, low down to 30 tomorrow.
Thinking what you want rather than what's wrong. Talk about that. Explain that a little bit.
Well, the subconscious is a goal-striving mechanism. And if you're keeping your dominant thought on what you want and you're keeping the feeling of what it feels like, that's how you program the subconscious. And it works both ways, though.
When you treat people who are trying to stop smoking, how do you do that and how long does it take?
It's 2 hours. And the system we're using right now is highly regarded as the number one. It's we're boasting, I'm very proud, we're over a 90-plus success rate, and I back people for life.
Is it just 1 2-hour session?
Yes. And they leave not wanting a cigarette, no cravings, no withdrawals, and they're done.
Well, you've been doing this almost 50 years, so I know you know what you're doing.
Well, the smokers, I've been working with smokers for about 20 years.
And with this great success rate?
Well, it's just in the last year, it went from an 80 to 90 plus in the last year.
How much do people have to do on their own, though, after they leave your session?
Well, they're gonna keep their thoughts where they want them, but they're done. While they're in the office, their subconscious mind switches. It switches from hand to mouth, feel good, to danger. I don't want it.
Well, one of the more popular topics around here is sleep and the lack of it. Do you deal with people who have trouble getting to sleep, insomniacs, and how do you treat them?
Yes, and there's something a little more common is falling asleep and then waking up.
What do you mean?
Well, people will fall asleep, or there's only 2 types of sleep issues. You can't fall asleep, or you're waking up after you fall asleep. And they're both the same homework. And I do recommend the 4-7-8 breathing, which is all everywhere on the internet. That's something to lower breathing once again. And just Google 4-7-8, go back to sleep in 60 seconds. You'll see plenty of info on it. But that alone will produce melatonin in the brain. It'll produce chemicals to help you relax. But a very beneficial thing you can do is start doing a 5 to 10 minute mental relaxation before you fall asleep. Sit in a chair and just count your breathing, or just pay attention. Count backwards from 20 to 1.
When you talk about 4-7-8, if you wake up in the middle of the night, that refers to
the lower belly. Yes, you're going to press your lower belly out for the count of 4. You're going to hold it for the count of 7, and you're going to press your belly in as you're exhaling. And I mean the lower belly, from the belly button down.
Don't be doing that while you're driving right now, by the way.
Actually, Bob, that'd be a great thing to do, because
really?
You're using by blowing out your lower belly, you have more evoli, more brain signals in that part of your lower lobes of your lungs. And when you do that, you produce Prozac, you produce serotonin. That's a mood-altering chemical. You're also producing a pain-reducing chemicals, a codeine, endorphins. And you're going to have an anti-inflammatory. You're going to also, though, produce melatonin, all by that lower belly breathing. It's very highly effective.
So if you want to reduce stress, that's the way to do it, isn't it?
Well, it's one great way, lower belly breathing. Complete breathing is also great for instant relief of stress or fear or anxiousness. You can do that. Also, if you're anxious, put your hand on your heart and breathe through your heart. Imagine if you're breathing through your heart. That's a very good one, too. your heart has more electrical magnetic energy than anywhere else in your body. And that'll instantly calm you down within 3 to 5 breaths.
One hand on the wheel there as you're stuck in the rush hour, and the other hand on your heart.
Correct.
And
you
then
don't have to
breathe
hit on the heart, but it just makes it a little easier to imagine breathing through your heart.
Do you help people who have problems with their memory?
Yes, I do. And when you do your mental relaxation, is what self-hypnosis was called up to 1912, relaxation, meditation, self-hypnosis, mindfulness. By doing this, your memory is improved dramatically. Anytime you can slow down your brain and relax your body, it's spectacular for the memory.
Talk about meditation, because I think people have this idea that they have to be in a special place at a special time with special surroundings to meditate, but that's not really true, is it?
No, it's not. Meditation is a focused daydream state, and you can do that anywhere you do that. How about people driving, getting to where they're going, say, holy cow, how'd I get here? 20 minutes went by. Wow. They're in a meditative state.
Well, I don't know if that's a good thing, right? Because you're not paying attention to the traffic.
Well, actually, subconsciously, it's not bad, but that's what they call daydreaming. Meditation is a focused, relaxed state. And that's what we teach people how to do.
And how long does it take to get in a good meditative state?
Well, I say a good 5 to 10 seconds.
That's all?
Yeah, well, if you're at a red light, roll your eyes up. Look up as if you're looking through the top of your skull. Take a deep breath, relax your eyes. Keep your eyes open, of course, if you're in the car. But take a deep breath, and just by raising your eyeballs up 45 degrees, you stimulate the occipital nerve, which produces a gas in your brain, and both brain hemispheres slow down. That's why children, when they reach for information, they look up at the ceiling. By raising your eyeballs up, you stimulate that occipital nerve. It slows down the brain. And if you want to have recall, what is memory? Recall. Do that technique, and you'll have better recall instantly.
It's fascinating, and it really all makes sense. But at first, when we hear you're a hypnotist, we conjure up all these images of fakery and performers, don't we?
Yeah, that was from all the movies. But hypnotists teach people how to put themselves in a mentally, physically, emotionally relaxed state. And they do that because that's one of the benefits of that is you get to, hypnosis is the bypass inner critical thinking. So when you're in a daydream state, but we want you in a focused daydream state, and when you're doing that, your logical reasoning mind goes off to the side, and it's a very quick and easier way to program, a much faster way to reprogram the subconscious mind to either add habits or change habits.
Do people have an open mind to all of this? Because to some people, what you're saying sounds ridiculous.
Well, that's pretty common sense. This has been over 75 years of science behind all this, and
you've worked for various educational institutions.
Yeah,
and
I taught medical hypnosis at Northwestern Norris Center for about 8 years. I've taught thousands of people. I love working with lawyers, law firms. I've worked with police departments, fire departments, city halls, schools. I've been very fortunate. I've been able to help thousands of people the last 40 years.
Are most people a little late coming to this knowledge about hypnosis?
Hypnosis is the persona has changed, but this science and I mean, what's the science of prayer? Prayer is you put yourself in a relaxed state and you see and feel the prayer as if it's already answered, and you give thanks for it. You see, programming of the subconscious mind is nothing more than consistent thoughts and feelings of that goal accomplished.
Prayer is really meditation, isn't it?
Prayer is a focused, relaxed state. In fact, prayer, meditation, self-hypnosis, mindfulness is nothing more than that. That's exactly what it is.
I feel better just talking to you, by the way.
Well, thank you, Bob.
Can you come in tomorrow at 5 a.m.? Shawn Mossell is the owner of the Wilmette Stop Smoking Center and the Wilmette Hypnosis Center. Shawn, it's fascinating, and some of these tips seem very simple, and like you say, you can do them right there when you're stuck in the rush hour, and it can calm you down, can't it?
Yes, it works. It works phenomenally.
Well, come back and see us again, will you?
I'd like to.
we need your help.
Tip of the month.
Yeah, all right, it's fine with me. And you don't even need to have your stopwatch going back and forth in front of me. Okay.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks for the
Thank you.
opportunity.
Shawn Mossell, 7:29. We've got the news, and then